After what was a clear provocation by the Trump administration, Donald Trump decided to deploy the National Guard to quell the protests that took place in Los Angeles. And surprise, surprise, it actually made the situation worse and not better. And I want to be very clear, that was by design. So after Trump recently makes clear his plans to basically give Palantir, a private company, all of our information and gets a bunch of pushback, just by coincidence, I suppose, he decides to send a bunch of federal agents to LA to harass people about their immigration status at their jobs. Now, as you all know, LA is a sanctuary city. It was codified by the city council. The LAPD cannot get involved or just walk up on a random person because of their suspected immigration status on the street or at their job. And there are a lot of cities with a lot of immigrants, but you happen to pick the blue city where you knew it would be a problem, and you targeted them with federal agents, and things got out of hand. And then he switches up the rhetoric that is used to describe what took place during the protests. Trump's advisor, Stephen Miller, came out on X and said, "Deport the invaders or surrender to insurrection." Donald Trump himself literally called for the arrest of Gavin Newsom. And I don't like the guy, but bruh.
Gavin Newsom he's daring Tom Homan to come and arrest him. Should he do it? I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Of course, Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing.
Now, I need y'all to understand, this is how we know that this operation was carried out on purpose in Los Angeles, was targeted. And it was targeted to get support for Palantir's sinister, dystopian, information gathering AI, because there were protests in San Diego, and I'm sure the majority of y'all didn't hear about them, did you? There were also protests in Chicago this past weekend. There were also protests, smaller protests, in Houston. All of these protests happened within 7 days of each other. And yet the only one we saw being discussed nonstop by this administration and by the news is the one that happened in LA, the one that was referred to as a riot, even though we know the Trump administration provoked them. And lo and behold, look at the Trump shields like Laura Loomer immediately saying it's time to deploy Palantir tech to Los Angeles to deal with the illegals. And we shouldn't be surprised that pro-Trump shields have come out in support of Palantir in light of the recent arrest in Los Angeles, because Tim Dillon discusses how Palantir is actually trying to buy off influencers, specifically to push their objective and get people to support the federal government using Palantir in the way that Trump intends to use. Tim actually is predicting that there will be waves of influencers trying to justify the use of Palantir as the anti-terrorism savior in the next few months.
If you don't have any reservations about Palantir taking everyone's information, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust you. I get invited to these dinners. I don't go. I've been invited to Teal's house multiple times for dinner. I don't go. It's no shade at them. Now, I remember one dinner, they're like, "We'd like to discuss the media." I go, "What?" So my prediction, and I don't want to name names because I don't know, but my prediction is you're going to see a lot of people over the next 6 months start thinking this list's a great idea. They're going to start telling you how great this is and how it's about terrorism. That's the one that'll start going, "Well, it's a terror. Have you heard? It's terrorism gonna." This is gonna happen.
And surprise, surprise, it looks like Tim Dillon is right, because here's Laura Loomer again, somehow linking the LA protests to quote-unquote Islamo-fascists and the Muslim Brotherhood. This would be once again a great time to mention that none of these people have mentioned the protests in Chicago. None of these people have mentioned the protests in San Diego. None of these people have mentioned the protests in Houston. Just the ones getting all the media coverage in LA, because that's the one that Trump and his administration have chose to focus on. And they want to convince you that once Palantir really gets all of our information and inputs it into this database, that somehow this is going to only affect immigrants and Muslims and people people that don't look like you or talk like you. And if you are dumb enough to believe that, you deserve everything that comes next. These dumbasses seem to have forgotten that Trump will not be the president for the next 40 years. When a Democrat wins, this technology will still be in place. And y'all gonna have another January 6th on your hands, except for there will be more of y'all arrested for a longer period of time, and they will have a way more accurate way of figuring out who was and was not at these type of protests that Democrats don't support. Like, I thought that the right was all about being anti-big government and against equipping the deep state with the tools that they need to spy on us. Like, y'all were the ones that were up in arms about vaccine passports, right? Like, I remember that. Y'all didn't want your health status registered into a database that could be used against you in ways that could affect your livelihood, your ability to travel, etc. But y'all see the news talk about one quote unquote riot in LA, and all of a sudden y'all like, yay, Palantir! Really, bruh? Can y'all not be so damn simple-minded? Stop inviting your own demise, you dumbasses! Y'all letting Peter Thiel and Donald Trump play y'all like fiddles. And once again, we're gonna have to have this same conversation 3 years from now where we're like, we told you so. You're not always gonna be the ones in power, and I don't know why y'all keep forgetting this. But hey, hard head make a soft ass, I guess.